Good evening, guys. Welcome to the FST 4310 Lab 2 supplement for Adobe Acrobat Reader. This is a tutorial to show you how to edit PDFs. So I'm sure that as college seniors, you guys have used PDFs in the past. Maybe you've downloaded a document from a professor, or you've had to read something online that was in PDF form. There is a reason for that. So PDFs are more popular among companies and researchers for certain documents compared to Word documents or Excel files or PowerPoint, because it tends to be a little bit more secure. Without the proper software, PDFs are a lot harder to edit, and that's why they are often used. So with that, that is the purpose of today's tutorial. And the reason I want you guys to learn how to use the Acrobat Reader is, first, there may be situations where you may not have access to a printer or scanner. So the easiest thing to do when editing a document after receiving the email is to download it, print it, then write on it, scan it back, and send it to the sender in the email, right? That's a lot of trouble. So this is more convenient. Because of COVID-19, some of you, when you have jobs, or if you already are working, you may be forced to work from home sometimes. And some parts of your job may involve writing things down. You won't be able to do that work from home. So editing things directly on the computer using something like Adobe Reader is helpful. The third thing is with Adobe Reader, it's just a lot neater. My handwriting sucks. It's pretty bad, pretty messy. Something that allows me to type things down and even make neater signatures even, which is a nice feature of Adobe Acrobat Reader. It makes things a lot cleaner and a lot more professional looking. So that, let me show you guys how to download it. Okay, so if you go to Lab 2 and you go to this slide, which shows you a demo for Adobe Acrobat Reader, if you click on the image on the right, it will send you directly to the Adobe website. So with that, so this is the page you should see after clicking on it. Let me just explain some of the things here. So there are two different things that you could download on this page. One is Adobe Acrobat Reader, and the other is Acrobat Pro. So Acrobat Pro and Acrobat Reader, the main difference is Acrobat Pro is a lot more powerful. So Adobe Acrobat Reader, you can read things, you can add comments or highlight things, or even type a couple words on there. But Adobe Acrobat DC Pro allows you to make forms that people can fill in, add some extra security features. So like if you want someone to electronically sign something, there's a feature that makes sure that, you know, when someone clicks on that link to sign, it is for sure coming from a certain computer or a certain device. It allows you to merge a bunch of documents from like different Word files or different images into like one consolidated PDF, and a bunch of other features that I'll be happy to show you in the future, because I actually have Adobe Acrobat DC. Adobe Acrobat DC is rather expensive. A year subscription is $170, and I believe for free it's $450. So for now, I just want you to be concerned with Reader. Some of these other features on this website, so this indicator here says install Acrobat Reader Chrome extension. So if you're using Google Chrome, there's a feature that Adobe offers that allows you to download PDFs directly from Google and load them into the Chrome browser to look at. And also, if you want to view any PDFs instead of through Reader, you can do it through Chrome as well. That's what that feature is for. I prefer using DC or Reader just because there's just more features for editing it. So personally, I'm going to uncheck it, but you're welcome to check it if you feel that's useful. These other optional tabs here, if you don't have antivirus already, feel free to download those, but that's what they're for. But I don't need them. I already have antivirus, so I'm going to leave those unchecked. This link gives you, points you to Adobe Acrobat Pro if you want it. This is the trial version, which I think is good for about a week, but I would suggest holding off on that. This is the one you want. Okay, so once you click on that link, it jumps you to this different particular page. If you're using Chrome, your download's going to show up in a tab on the bottom of the browser. I can't really help you if you have Firefox or like Microsoft Edge or Safari because they have their own ways of recording their downloads. But at least for Chrome, it will show up in this toolbar. So if you're using Chrome like me, it's going to show up on the leftmost side if it's your most recent download. Just click on it. Okay, so this is what you should see after you click on the download itself, regardless of whatever browser you're using. I already have it installed on my browser, my computer, so that's why it says newer version already installed. But if you don't have Adobe Reader already, it'll take about 5 or 6 minutes to finish downloading. Longer if you pick the other features like the McAfee antivirus or the Chrome extension. The download is about, I think, anywhere between 200 and 300 megabytes, depending what features you pick. So a fast internet connection, 5 or 6 minutes, and a slower one, maybe 10 or 15. This is what you should see when everything's finished. It just says, Adobe Acrobat Reader DC is successfully installed. Make sure that the check mark here is marked. It says launch Adobe Acrobat Reader DC. That'll get you straight to the app. So just click finish. And this is what you should see. So we can get you the different tools here. Just know that a lot of the features that are really popular in DC or like really give DC its power, like merging files together or editing the PDF itself, like not just like adding text, but like actually like getting into the document itself and like trying to like change anything in the background, or even like making PDFs. Those you require the full version for. There is a workaround if you need to convert something to PDF. Google, image to PDF or doc to PDF, and those websites are out there. And if you have, I think, Windows 8 or later, or some like more recent like Mac OS system, they should already have some feature for most of your applications that when you print, you have an option for print to PDF. So like if you're looking at something online or you're saving a Word document, that feature will do is when you save it, it automatically converts that file to PDF for you. So those are just some of the options you have if you don't want to pay for the license, at least in that regard. Okay, so the thing that ties in most to our class is the product specification sheet that we talked about in Lab 2. In this tutorial, we are going to edit a spec sheet template, which is available on the Canvas webpage for this course. Either go to Canvas Files and you click on Labs. There should be a folder that says templates for assignments and projects. And then there should be both an Excel format if you don't really grasp this tutorial that well, or the software reader that well, and a PDF form if you want to use the lessons learned in this tutorial for this assignment. At the very least, I have the spec sheet template prepared for you in PDF form to show you for this tutorial, so that's what we're going to do. I'll just click on that now. Okay, so let's start with just navigating through Adobe Acrobat Reader. So right now I have it select with this hand here. This is basically clicking and dragging things around. As you can see, it kind of functions like the scroll button. For larger documents or if you're zoomed in, so let me just zoom in for real quick. You can zoom out obviously with the minus button. But you can also move left and right if you need to with this particular feature. So just be careful. If you were to add any images, which you can with the free version, you will accidentally click and drag on the pictures as well if you're not careful. So when you're clicking and dragging, make sure it's on something that's not something you're editing. If you need to click on specific items and you don't want to try to move around, drag around the page by mistake, you can use the cursor app here. If you were to add things on the document itself, you can just click on specific items that way without necessarily moving them. You can move the images or text around using this, but basically the difference is the hand motion will actually move you across the document itself, and then the arrow will just click on specific items. So as you can see, like with the arrow, you can still like highlight text or jump to text, and you'll have like the cursor there for typing. But like I said before, without the proper software, you can't really edit the template itself. So like I kind of made this beforehand, right, in document form, and then converted it to PDF. Without the full version of DC, I can't edit anything. So let me try to press like delete or like add text. I can't do it. But you can still select them, and you can still highlight them for copy and paste using this feature, which you cannot do for the hand app. So that's the difference. This is for selecting specific items, although you can still click and drag specific like pictures around or like things that you add in yourself. The hand thing, you can also click and drag things that you add in, but it's more useful for navigating like bigger documents or if you zoom in. That's the main difference between these two. Here's how to rotate PDFs. You can do it through the toolbar. You can see like rotate view like clockwise, counterclockwise. But if you want to do it quicker, if you want to rotate counterclockwise, use Shift, Control, and minus on your keyboard at the same time. And if you want to go clockwise, press Shift, Control, plus at the same time. Just know that there's a difference between doing that in the viewer and actually making that rotation permanent. If you want to make those changes permanent, that also requires the full version. And I'll be happy to show that later. But if you just need to rotate the PDF for your viewing so you can edit things easier, those are the hotkeys that you use. So if you just want to zoom in and out, it's also using the control, but instead of like Control Shift plus, it would be just Control plus for zoom in. And then instead of Control Shift minus, it'll just be Control minus for zoom out. And of course, you can always use the buttons up here. You'll probably notice that when I switch to certain modes, the toolbar tends to disappear with all these other options. I understand if it's a little bit confusing. No problem. Just right-click on this toolbar and then click on Reset Toolbars if you want to go back to these options here if they disappear on you. Anyway, on that note, let me segue to the next tools that you guys will use. So if you are working with more than one person on a particular PDF, you want to leave comments behind, like questions or comments, just use this comments tab right here. So let's say your teammates are coming up with a logo picture, and then you want to say what kind of logo you want. So logo you want. Use the comments tab, click on the logo image here, and let's just say like, hey guys, I want a picture of a squirrel here, or something like that. So this is useful when you share a document with your group. Different group members will have different color-coded comments to make it easier to distinguish between you guys. But if for whatever reason you guys end up with the same color, your guys' name and the time the comments posted will always be up there. And you guys can freely reply to it whenever you want. So that's excellent for communicating with your teammates when you're working on a PDF together. If you're taking notes or you want to draw attention to a specific part of the PDF, that's this tool right here. This is the highlight tool. It's as simple as clicking and dragging. So let's say I want to highlight manager approval signature. Just highlight that area, then click, drag, and release, and it'll highlight it for you. Oftentimes, admittedly, I don't really use the highlight feature in Adobe Reader because I don't use Reader for note-taking or research. That's a different app that I prefer. So oftentimes when I do highlighting, it's by accident. And if you make a mistake of any kind, not to worry, Adobe Reader allows you to undo or redo changes. You can go to the Edit tab and it's up there. See undo, redo. But it's usually easier to just use a shortcut. So if you want to undo something, it's Control Z. And if you want to redo something, so like you undid something by accident, but you want to put it back, Control Shift Z, and there you have it. Okay, button number 3 is the bulk of this presentation, so I'm gonna get to that in a moment. But this last button up here is the edit text to images. Again, this is also Pro only, so if I click on it, you'll notice. Oh, that's right, I have the Pro version. But if you attempted to do this with the free version, it will not let you. So just be mindful of that. And then real quick, just a couple more of these buttons here. I believe this is share a link to like a cloud, which I don't really use, and you can use this to send this a file as an email to someone else. This is a share feature as well that you can also use, like if you're to share with your project mates. And I just prefer to just send PDFs through email directly. But this features could be used for collaboration if you guys are so inclined. Okay, let's get to the bulk of this particular tutorial. So the most useful feature in the free version of Reader is this sign button right here. So sign document by typing or drawing a signature. But by no means is it limited to that at all. You can do a lot more with it, as you can see here. So let's start with the signatures first, because that's what it's called. When you click on this particular button right here, you have the option to add a signature. So let me just move this right here. Add a signature, or you can add your own initials. So if you go to signature, you can type in pretty much whatever you want. I'm just putting my name here for a demonstration. If you're so inclined, you can also draw your signature or add an image. I don't really use those, but the type feature is probably the easiest to use. Once you type in your name, you can also change how it looks. So in the style tab right here. I prefer the cursive though, personally, but you can see there are 4 different options here. And you can choose whether or not to save it. I think this looks good as is for this demo, so just click apply. And as you can see here, I now have use of this particular signature right here. I can basically stamp anything I want. So if I want to use this for manager approval, just click and it leaves it there. Since it's showing me the options, I might as well explain it at this point here as well. You can manipulate anything that you specifically add onto the PDF. So if I add my signature here, I can make it smaller with this button right here, bigger with this button right here, or I can throw it away if I decide I don't want it anymore. That's just this trash can button right here. If you make a mistake and you actually meant to like check something off, or like add a line or something like that, that's what these dots are for. As you can see, the other button features right here. Just know that if you were to use this feature, if you were converted back to the text option, it's going to lose the signature or words that you put in. So just keep that in mind. If you're careful enough, it's usually more efficient just go straight to the other options up here instead of using that feature. But that is one way to correct your mistakes. Okay, the next feature I want to talk about is the text editor feature, or the text type in option. That's just this AB right here. You can click pretty much anywhere you want to add text. So if I want to add like the name of a product, let's say I'm making cheese, I'll just click right here and just type in cheese. So as you can see, same options I have, except for this one. So the purpose of that button is, if you ever notice, like you have like the application that like has like the option, has like the feature where you have to like fill in each letter into each individual box to space it. That's what it's for. I rarely, if ever, need it myself, but that's what it does. Generally speaking, it's more useful to just put it in this format. And of course, the same edits here if you want to convert it to X or check or circle. It's all here. All right, next, some pretty self-explanatory options here. So you have the X and the check mark here. If you find any sort of box of any kind, such as these organic or non-GMO boxes, or if you fill out like an application, it might say like, oh, were you ever convicted of a crime on a job application? You can check mark no. That's what these are for. So next feature right here, just click anywhere you want, just like the signature. You can change the size of the check marks and X's. You can actually get them pretty big. Trash tab is here, same as the other options. Check mark here. Again, same thing. The circle, the line, and the dot are pretty much identical too. So you can change the size of. Actually, that's more of a rectangular ellipsoid. No. It's been a while since I took geometry, but if you want to circle something, you can do it. Use this tool. Of course, the line. If you want to redact something or like cross something out on a document, let's say like, for example, this line lock code interpretation, and I misspelled interpretation. I spelled it correctly, but just for the sake of argument. So let's say I want to make a correction. So I just go here, put the line on it, drag it over here. And if you want, you can change the color. So you can actually do this for the text, the check marks, the X's, the text, the signatures too. But I usually just use it to indicate a correction. So I prefer this color right here. It kind of looks red. It's more magenta. And then maybe I want to put something over on top. So like instead of interpretation, maybe I want lot code meaning. And you can see the text color changes too. Unfortunately, you can't really change the font itself. Like if you don't like that format, unfortunately, with this feature, you only have access to one type of font. If you want to type something like Times New Roman or Arial Black or something like that, you need the full version. But at least you can change the color. So that's kind of nice, I guess. All right, so let's cover how to add images to the Adobe Reader. So it's pretty simple most of the time. I've only ever had errors a couple times, but just go on Google, find any image you want. So we're making cheese, right? So let's find an image of cheese on the internet. Copy image. Then go back here. So in most applications with like Microsoft, you would be able to just right click and press paste, right? But in Adobe, you have to do that here. Just do some time. Should be up here now. The image is a little big, so let's resize it. You can just zoom out. It's pretty big. Wow, look at that. Shrink that a bit, shall we? There we go. And there's our cheese. Now, something that's unique to the Pro version of Adobe DC, it's loading right now. Don't worry about that too much. Or it's lagging a bit. One important thing in DC Pro is you have the power to edit images within Adobe DC. What happens is when you go to the Pro version, you right-click on the image and you click Paint, Edit. It'll allow you to use any image editor that you have installed on your computer to edit an image whenever you want. Sometimes I use that to make corrections on logos at work. Okay, couple of last-minute things before we end this tutorial. Let's talk about the things on the left side of the toolbar. So the first thing here is the find feature, which I have up already, but you can click on this or you can hit Control F. So Control F at the same time. The purpose of it is to find a specific word within a document. Kind of like if you go on Google Chrome or Safari or Internet Explorer, and you want to find a specific word within an article, you hit Control F and look for a word there, right? Well, the same thing applies here. So if I want to say I want to find eggs here, just type in eggs. And one nice thing about Adobe Reader is that it will actually find exact matches for you for some certain search terms, which is kind of nice. Although I think it will also search for non-perfect matches as well. But just for the sake of argument, just click on this, and it'll show you like all the different options. If there's more than one instance of eggs, or like 2 eggs in the document, then what will happen is if I hit next or previous, you should jump to the next term. So that's really useful if you have like a word that pops up a lot in this document. Unfortunately, I think I only have a couple that appear more than once. Let's try tolerances. See, there's 2 exact matches, right? So if I hit hit tolerances, enter, and then it shows the first tolerances right here. There's another one down there. So if I hit next, you should see it jump from there to there. Yep, see that? The next tool on the left is just the print feature. So as you can see here, there are different options for printing. You'll notice that one of them is Microsoft Print to PDF that I mentioned before. You can send it to different applications depending on what you have downloaded. But the simplest, if you have a printer, it'll be linked here as well. The next one is the cloud feature. So I don't know if, because I don't use it, I don't know if it's pro only or available to free users as well. But much like Google Drive or Google Docs, you can upload a PDF specifically to Adobe's like sort of cloud storage site. You want to keep a lot of PDFs. The icon on the left over here is the star icon. So if you were to upload this to the drive, you could actually mark certain documents as extra important. That's what that's for. Generally speaking, I don't anticipate using this much in class, or even as I have a pro version, I don't want to use this, but that's what it's for. Then last but not least, we have the save feature. So one important thing I need to tell you about the Adobe Reader version of Save. So once you save changes to a document, they cannot be reversed without the pro version of Adobe DC. So any changes that you make sure that you absolutely want all of them. Otherwise, you're going to have to undo the changes or start from previous version and redo them again. If you were to use the Pro DC version, you can reverse changes that you make that will otherwise be permanent. It would just be this edit PDF feature, which we'll cover in a later lecture. And yeah, there you have it. That's most of what you'll need for not only assignment 2, but just working with Adobe Reader in general. It's really, really useful for editing documents on your computer without having to print things out. We will definitely delve into more of Adobe itself and even go to the pro version in the future. But for now, hopefully this will be helpful for most of your assignments in this class and in the rest of your careers. So thank you, and see you guys next week.